Hello, my name is BC Akone and I just want to add value to you. This is pointer to your motivation and I'm sharing to you on focus on your goals. Now, sometimes we just get worked up by trying to compare ourselves to others, and then we move into this competition zone that doesn't help us and do any good for us. A little healthy competition is fine, see, but when you become consumed by the desire to do better than others, then you cross over into that unhealthy territory where you begin to lose focus on what exactly you are called to do. So you've got to learn how not to climb the ladder of success by trying to look at what others are doing, but by concentrating on what it is that you want to do. You see, focus on your focus. See, where your focus goes, there your energy will flow to. When you concentrate on what you are called to do, it begins to grow. See, when you pay attention to what your goals are, then it begins to gain more attention from others. It becomes attractive to others, just like it's attractive to you. So don't allow yourself to be focused on what others are doing. Rather, keep your focus on what you are called to do. Keep your focus on your goal. As you focus on what you are called to do, your motivation, the desire to do it begins to increase, and then you find yourself enjoying it more than looking somewhere. When you compare yourself to others or try to compete with others, you are allowing negative energies into your life, and that will not help you. Focus on you. You deserve it. Till I come your way next time, please stay motivated and be well. Hello, friends, and you're welcome today to your leadership community. It's a great thing to always have us here. It's a great thing to always have you in this community. Just a minute, we're having a technical hitch. Okay, just some technical hitch there. We're trying to fix it up and to be good. Awesome. I think we are good now. Good evening, good afternoon, good morning, wherever you're calling from, wherever you're joining us from. Thank you very much for coming on board and for being part of your leadership community this day, this evening, this morning. And I'm always glad to have you here. You know, it's such an awesome privilege to have you join me and join my team as we go into this time. We connect together on a regular basis, and it's awesome to be growing together. Really, we need to keep growing. You know, when I look at what's going on, like for example, here in my country, Nigeria, we're having some elections take place, and we are seeing leadership or the absence of leadership in practice, whichever way you look at it. Elections are going on and people are acting whichever way that they can act, in any manner that they can act. Things are really very awesome and very fantastic here right now. It's awesome. We keep learning and we keep growing anyway. So we want to again look at leadership issues as they relate to us, as they affect us, as they work with us. The whole essence of this is so that you and I can develop ourselves and be better leaders and leading in the communities where we have positioned ourselves or where we have been positioned to lead. There are rulers and there are leaders. So we've got to always look at that so that we are in the place of leaders, not in the place of rulers. We are called to lead, and that we should do. So we want to look at those things. I'm acknowledging all of you who are joining right now. I used to like to call names, but sometimes I discovered that I leave some names out because I see you as you come in and I see your chats. And please, I'd like you to keep those chats coming. I'm going to get in now because I know some people are about to get in for one issue or the other. They are not getting in, so I'm giving some space. But please, can you just make some comments over there. Make some comments. Say something. Just say hello so that everyone in the house will know you are here. I see my friends from Zambia already logging in. I see my friends from Lagos, from outside of Lagos, logging in. I appreciate you all. We want to delve into this. Just so you know, just in case you have not met me before, my name is BC Akonde, and like I always like to say, I just want to add value to you. That's my goal. My goal is to add value to people who want to add value to others and make a difference in their world. So I just want to add value to you. I want to see how you and I can get to develop ourselves and get to become better leaders in our space. That's what I do. And I know that's why you are here. I know you also want to be better leaders. That's why you are here. Thank you for joining me. I see that we have a friend from Uganda also in the house. Thank you very much for being a part of this evening's meeting. You're welcome. I really appreciate every one of you who is joining us. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. So today I'm going to be looking at this subject of navigation, how you can ride the storm to live your dream. We all have dreams, we all have a desires, we all have goals that we want to pursue and want to achieve. For example, at the beginning of this year, I'm very certain that maybe all of us, and if not all of us, at least 90% of us must have set out to do certain things, to achieve certain goals. I had my goals set, I had my financial goals set, and then the storm came. And thank God that we are getting out of the storm gradually. I know that, for example, in my country, we religious institutions are open, the schools are opening again. We are getting our lives back, and that's interesting. That's fantastic for me. And I know some other countries are fully open. Unfortunately, there are some people that have opened and then they are locking back again, and they are saying it's spiking and all that. Then those are storms, and storms happen. Like we always say, life happens, and when life happens, you just have to find our way through it. So you have your dreams, you have your goals, but life happened, the storm came, and now you are wondering, what am I going to do? There are, like I always say, there are 4 possibilities when a storm comes. When a storm hits a person, when a storm hits an organization, there are 4 possibilities that are available for us to take when those storms come. Now, I want to remind you, just in case you never heard me share them. It is possible that when a storm comes, it can swallow somebody up. When a storm comes, it can take you over, and it's possible that the ship can sink. The ship of you, the ship of your life, the ship of your business, the ship of the organization that you are leading, whether it's a church or it's a what you call secular organization, whatever it is, it's possible that when the storm comes, it gets swallowed up by the storm and it sinks and you don't see it again. You don't find the business again. This evening I was talking with my wife and she just mentioned that a particular food mart that I like to visit, especially on Sunday, because I love their salad, it's so fantastic, that they run out, they shut down, they just closed, because of course for the past 7 months, 8 months, no one is coming to buy salads. People want to eat some other things first before they think about salads, as it were, but they just shut down. They got swallowed by the storm. Maybe they will be able to come back again, but sometimes it becomes difficult when you've been swallowed by the storm. The second possibility is that it's possible for you to survive the storm. You survive through the storm, but then you're going to probably suffer some losses. If you remember, if you look at the ship I'm talking about again, because we are talking about navigation, when there is a storm, sometimes you want to eject the stuff that is in the storm. You want to pick bags and things that are heavy that could make it difficult for the ship to keep moving. You pick them and you throw them out. So it's possible to survive through the storm and suffer certain losses. Now, sometimes you could stay in the storm, and the challenge of staying in the storm is that you suffer the storm again and again. So you've got to check your life. Are you repeatedly going through the same thing over and over again? It might just be that you are staying in the place where you shouldn't stay. You are staying in the storm. When the storm comes, you don't want to stay in the storm. But of course, it's also possible that you can steer that ship and be able to get yourself out of the storm. It's possible to steer the ship. Those are 4 possibilities, So when we talk about navigation, you and I will immediately think about the ship and the captain. Now, you and I are captains. We are captains of the ship that is called you. That's what I call it, the ship of your life, the ship of your business. That's, you are the captain. And so what do you do as a captain? What captains do is that captains are able to navigate. They are able to chart the course. Now, there's a law called the law of navigation. The law of navigation. That law says anyone can steer the ship, but only a leader can chart the course. That's the 21 irrefutable laws of leadership by John Maxwell. Anyone can steer the ship, and it's so easy. You can go to the ship, pick up the rudder, and start steering it. I mean, yesterday a woman came around the house, and her son was sitting in front of the car with her. She was supposed to drive, but he held the steering. He could move the steering, but the car wasn't going anywhere. Haven't you seen that happen in leadership, where people are trying to move the ship, but somehow it's not going anywhere? It just stays there. It just doesn't move. So anyone can steer the ship, and sometimes you might even be able to move it, but you move it in the wrong direction. You can keep moving it round and round and round. And you see, there are a lot of businesses that are just going round and round and round in circles. There are a lot of organizations just going round and round. They're just managing to they just keep going round and round. They are moving, but they're not making progress. They're just rolling and rolling and rolling and rolling. Anyone can steer the ship, but only a leader can chart a course. And what you want to do as a leader is to chart a course. We all have our goals. We all have our dreams. We really look forward to seeing them become real. That's why we set the goal. We want to make sure that they are real. But not all dreams come to pass. Not every goal is achieved. It's not everything that you desire that is eventually delivered. A lot of times you find that the things that you dreamt about, the things that you call your dreams and your goals, just seem not to come. And those things happen most of the time because the storm comes visiting. Now, storms will always come. It doesn't matter what kind of storm it is. It can always come. And leaders who know how to take their team and reach the dream are those who can navigate, who can chart the course for their team. That's what a captain does. When you say navigate, you remember a captain. That's what he does. He's able to chart a course. It's not every route on the sea that takes you to where you are going. Not every route. It's not every road that gets to where you are going. In fact, the road that one leader takes might not help the other leader. See, that's why we've got to be careful. You can't just copy someone, hook, line, and sinker, as they say. You can't just copy someone, because what takes me on my journey might not take you on your journey. What leads me to where I'm going might not lead you to where you're going. So as a leader, you've got to know which course is going to help your team to achieve what they are doing. Now, when storms arise, leaders are expected to rise up to the occasion and navigate for all. So I really would like to share a few thoughts on how you can chart the course, how you can chart the course, ride the storms that we face, how you can chart the course and ride that storm and get to the goal that you set, irrespective of the storm. See, I know that there are some people who would just have said to themselves, you see, I mean, as a leader, this is what we wanted to do, but the way it is, the storms have come, we just cannot do it. I'd like you to change your mind, because the truth is, irrespective of the storm, you can navigate. You can actually chart the course. You might need to chart another course, but that's it. That's what leaders do. If the first course didn't work, then you can chart another course. If the first one didn't go through, you can make another one happen. So it's possible for you to be able to chart the course for your team, for yourself, and move on to achieve the dream, to ride that storm and reach the dream of your life. So the first thing that you want to do in the midst of the storm is to gain or regain clarity. Now, I've been talking about clarity to myself for a while, and I think it's something that you need to be talking to yourself about. Clarity is very critical. You see, when a storm comes, what does it try to do? Storms make your dreams or your goals, it makes where you are going, it makes it kind of invincible. It blurs the image. It tries to blur the image. It makes visibility difficult. You know, and that's why when a pilot is flying a plane and they say there's a storm, he can't see clearly. What he does is that he wants to come back, and a lot of time he begins to find his way around the storm so that he can see clearly. You've got to gain clarity. And this is important. And you ask yourself, I call them the clarity question. One of the clarity questions I ask is, what do you really want? What do you really want? And I know I shared this when we're talking about success to significance. I mentioned that, but I need to put it up again. Because the truth is, I've come to discover that a lot of times we really do not know what we want. We beat about the bush. We think what we want is what we want. But most of the time, what we really want, we don't get to hit it. So we're looking for the things that we really don't want. And because it doesn't fit, because what you want does not really align with what you are going after, what happens is that you don't eventually meet what you really want. You don't hit what you really want. So you've got to be clear about what you really want. That's very important. Look around you and ask yourself those deep questions. What do you really want in life? What do you want to achieve? What would success mean to you? When you talk about the future, people say, I want to get to the future. What does the future mean to you? For someone, the future just means tomorrow. For someone else, the future means another 5 years. For someone else, the future means another 10 years. What does the future mean to you? What do you mean when you say, I want a bright future? What does that mean? What does it mean that I want a great future? When you say, I want to be great, what does that mean to you? When you say, I want my church. What's the dream that you are pursuing? What's the goal that you're going after? Like, even if you think you know the dream, can you do something for me? Can you do something? Can you put your dream to the test and find out, is this dream else's? Do not advise you one dream I give you is, please quit living someone else's dream and start living your dream. When you live someone else's dream, good enough for you. For a long time, I was living other people's dream. I was living the way people thought that that's the way to live. A lot of people have ideas, they have opinions of things you. Or you got to know it. Is that how things should be? What was for him? That was not the idea that was right for him. So he left himself to that place where you are living your dream, not someone else's dream. The second thing that would help you to navigate as a leader is your sense of tone. I know we have spoken about the courage to lead before, but I'm going to say this a little bit deeper as well. Courage is critical because storm is that will come. You've got to face the storm. The courage of yesterday might not carry you through today, so you've got to be building your courage. Fear is not the problem. The problem is the absence of courage. To say that you will not experience some fear like things are not work the way they work. But if you rise up in courage, you gain that ability to face the fear or to face whatever it is that is confronting you. That's when you conquer that storm. You must know fear is natural, but courage is what you need. It's not natural. That's fear. But courage does not mean that fear is not in existence. It only means that you can step up in spite of the fear. I always do will show up. Things will show up. So you've got to be able able to step out in courage. We all love it when we see people who exercise courage. And that's why that's where heroes are made. When somebody comes out in courage, then we begin to call him a hero. So can I ask you a question? Who is your hero? Can you mention at least one name of someone that you can say, okay, this is my hero? Now ask yourself the question, what did he do for him to qualify as your hero? I hope you're following me. What did he do to qualify as your hero? Now, can you remove his name and replace your name in that place? And let it be that you did that thing. How much of courage would you need to do that thing that he did for him to be your hero, so that you can be your own hero? That's my new term for you. You become your own hero. I need you to become your own hero. That makes a whole lot of sense. We need courage, because with courage, we will always win. Courage is critical if you are going to navigate and ride the storm to the dream of your life. Number 3 is your composure. Leaders always operate with a sense of serenity, and that's very important. If you have encountered a storm in a plane before, you would always hear the pilot would say things like, don't worry, nothing to worry about, we're here, we're patrolling. They say it. Now, can you imagine yourself in a plane, and then there is a storm, and the pilot just gets up and says, well, there's a storm here. Unfortunately, I don't know what to do about the storm, so please, if you can pray. If you know how to pray, if you know whatever God you serve, can you just call any God that you serve, because there's nothing I can do about it here. If the leader, if the captain, if the pilot, the captain of the ship, or whoever is in charge is beginning to fidget and lose their cool, what do you think will happen to the followers? You cannot afford to lose your cool because of them. That's very important. James Allen, who wrote that book, As a Man Thinketh, he said, a calm man, having learned to govern himself, knows how to adapt himself. A calm man, having learned to govern himself, knows how to adapt himself. In the midst of the storm, when things are changing, one thing that you and I need is that we need to be adaptable. But it begins with your ability to govern yourself. It begins with that ability to govern yourself. Can you really govern yourself? Can you keep yourself? Can you keep your cool when things are not going the way you want them to go? Because that's the way you can recharge your course. That's the way you can navigate. When you keep your cool, then you can navigate easier. There are those two words are critical: govern and adapt. Because you need adaptability at a time like this. We need to be adaptable. If we are not adaptable, then we will not be able to chart the course that is needed for the journey that we are on. Many times we've seen businesses that have not been able to survive the storm because somebody was not able to chart the course. Some others, they survived the storm because from a calm personality, from a calm mind, somebody decided to recreate something. During COVID, you saw some people who were into fashion designing, and they switched. They became adaptive. They just adapted to what was going on, and they started making nose masks, and business continued. Some others closed their shop, and nothing was going on. Some other people just shut down, and they couldn't do any other thing. We've got to learn how to be adaptable, but that comes from governing yourself. So I have a question for you. I ask questions these days a lot because the questions you ask will determine the answers you receive. You got it? Questions you ask determine the answers you receive. So how would you adapt to the changes that are taking place around you now? Think about that. What are the changes that are going on around you? What's happening? What's going on? What's changing? What's changing around you? Because things are changing. What's changing around you? Can you check it out? Can you note it? Can you write it down? Then the question is, how would you adapt to what's changing around you? If people are not coming out, then how do you reach your customers? How do you reach your people? If people are refusing to come to a place, how then do you get across to them? How do you chart a course that gets to where they are and meet them right where they are? You've got to be thinking about that. And there are two things that will help you to be composed. One is hope. Leaders are dealers in hope. Dealers in hope. One is hope. The hope that this also shall pass. The hope that things will definitely get better. The hope that your vision is coming to reality. The hope, the things that you thought about, that the things that you were thinking will keep working. That hope is very critical. The second one is your emotional intelligence. How intelligent are you emotionally? You've got to be able to keep your cool by being emotionally intelligent. And I wouldn't want to talk about emotional intelligence right now, but that's very important. So you've got to find a way to becoming emotionally intelligent. In fact, there's nothing wrong with you taking emotional. When you understand emotional intelligence, you can relate to them better, you can communicate better, you can act better as a person. So you've got to check on those sides. Two things that will help your composure: having hope for the future, and your emotional balance. Now I'm thinking about some steps that you can take to navigate. I said you got to act with composure, and I said the fun that I'm going to share with you is contemplate. Contemplate simply put, says think deeply, consider thoroughly, think deeply, think deeply, think deeply. You know, I've said this before. One of my mentors said, before you ask anybody what do you think, ask them if they think. The reason is because a lot of people don't think. But I need you to think, because you and I cannot afford not to think. When you don't think, you think. Contemplate thoroughly. I see many failures simply because you that tough job of thinking. How to contemplate, how to have time to think. Creatively think, be able to think. When you are creatively thinking, that means that's how you create. You've got to be taking time to think through every detail. Now, somebody taught me this, and that is taking a couple of minutes every day, maybe 5 minutes every day, to just think about something that is important to you. I have this writing that every day I pray, every day I read, every day I write, every day I think, and every day I add value. Thinking must be a part of what you and I do. Take out time to think. Think about your life, think about family, think about the future, think about whatever it is that you are doing for yourself. Thinking is the place where we create ideas. It's important. That's why we create ideas. That's why we bring out ideas. When you think, then you're pushing an action for yourself. So think, and the deeper you think, the better for you. Now, I read this story of two men who set out with a goal. The goal was that they wanted to reach the South Pole. Two of them wanted to reach the South Pole. And two of them actually got there. But two of them, the desire was who was going to get there first. They raised their team because you need a team to make a dream work. They got their team together. If you have a bad team, definitely you're not going to have a good dream fulfilled. But you need a team to get a good dream fulfilled. So everyone got their team. But one of the men did something that the other man did not do. One of the men he sat down and he thought through the process, he thought through the journey. So he was able to marshal certain things, put some things in place to ensure that at every point in time their supplies are well made. The other one made some critical errors because he did not think through the journey. And because he didn't think through the journey, at the end of the day, when he got there, he couldn't get out of that place because he did not have enough supplies to take him through. What are you contemplating right now? What's running in your mind? What are the things that you are thinking about? How often do you touch your dream? How often do you touch your dream? Now, when I say touch your dream, what do I mean? How do you touch your dream? You touch your dream by thinking on your dream. By thinking on your dream. You've got to learn how to create time for thinking. You've got to learn how to create a place for thinking. You've got to learn how to create a place to land your thinking, because you can't just keep landing and thinking in the air. You've got to land it. You've got to get it somewhere. So you need time to think. When you think through the path you will take, then it becomes easier for you to take that path. Navigation requires deep thinking. Navigation requires deep thinking. And then I'm going to share my last point on how you can navigate tonight is change. Change. We live in a world where transformation is highly desired, but very few people get transformed. Most people conform. When things are happening, you are not called to conform. It's easy to blend, but that's not what you want to do. What you want to do is you want to make change happen. And to make change happen, you've got to change. To change simply means stopping one thing so that you can start something. To change means starting something. To change means doing more of something or doing less of something. Change just needs to happen. But you see, it's better for you to be the one who initiates the change. It's always better that you are the one who initiates it. See, disruption will take place, but it's always better to disrupt it. I don't know if you have read that book before, or if you have encountered that book. I encourage you to get it. The book says disrupt it. Disrupt it. So it's better for you to disrupt it by yourself. When everything seems fit, can you just disrupt it by yourself and get it going so that you can bring something new out of it? Things metamorphose because it's changing. That's what gets you a beautiful butterfly. If there's no change from the larval stage, the beautiful butterfly you see will not be there. So irrespective of what you have today, can you work change on it so that the thing can become a lot more beautiful than what it is? Now, as I begin to round up, I'd like to share with you my I call it my my start and stop list. Sorry, my start and stop list. My start and stop list. Number one, you've got to stop wishing and start doing. You've been wishing for a very long time. Oh, I wish this, I wish this. You've been wishing for a long time. We wish a lot, but you see, wishes do not make for riches. Wishes don't make riches. It doesn't make riches. Stop wishing. Start doing. If you can't do everything, go ahead. You see, if you are going to the 10th floor, you can't see all the staircase. You can't see everything. You see the step in front of you. Take the step. You see, the more you take this step, the more other steps begin to show themselves up. So stop wishing and start doing. That's number one. Number two, stop doubting yourself and others and start believing. Start believing. You've got to change from doubting to believing. Many times we doubt ourselves. We doubt ourselves a lot that we don't do anything. The truth is, when you start doing things, you will now begin to see how much more you can do. Stop doubting yourself. And please stop doubting others. Many times we don't allow people to help us because we doubt them. We doubt their capacity to do things. So I learned a lesson, and the lesson is tell people what you want, allow them, and you'll be amazed what they will bring forth, what they will produce for you. So stop doubting yourself. Stop doubting others. Start believing. Even if you believe and it ends up a mistake, that's still okay. Okay, because you learn from your mistakes. If you believe and it didn't work out, it's still better than doubting, because doubting, you can be sure, will never work out. Believing possibly is a possibility, but doubting is an impossibility. That's the truth. So stop doubting yourself and others and start believing. Number three, I'm talking about my stop and start list. Stop waiting for inspiration and start inspiring yourself. Many times people say, I don't feel like doing it. I'm not inspired. I'm not inspired. Listen, if you are not inspired, you are likely to expire. But you know what? If you don't want to expire and nobody is inspiring you, inspire yourself. Oh, nobody is inviting me to their platform to speak. What do? I create a platform for myself. For example, this is my platform. This is my platform. It could be better, but this is what I can do for now. So I create a platform for myself. I don't need to wait for people to bring me to a space where I can share my thoughts. I already have a place where I can share and the more I share my thoughts here, then other platforms begin to notice what's going on here, and then they begin to call me to those platforms. So what am I saying to you today? I'm saying stop waiting for inspiration. Start inspiring yourself. Inspire yourself to go do something. Inspire yourself to get to doing that which you want to do. That's my third stop and start list. The fourth stop and start list is stop seeking perfection and start pursuing excellence. Many times we seek perfection, and because we are seeking perfection, we don't do nothing. We stop doing stuff because we are seeking perfection. This world is not looking for perfection. We look for improvement. You see, if it is perfect, what else can you add to it? That's the truth. If it's perfect, what else can you add to it? But you see, you can't get perfect. You can't get perfect because if you get perfect, there's no room for improvement. If you get perfect, there is no room for improvement. So what do? What do? Stop seeking perfect. Seek excellence. Look for room for improvement. Keep adding on a regular basis. Just live by the 1% improvement principle. Improve yourself every day by 1%, and you discover that at the end of the day, you become greater than you ever thought you could be. Number 5, stop looking for others. Stop looking to others and start looking inwards. Many times, we tend to think as leaders that the answer is in someone else. But the answer you are looking for has always been on your inside. I come to a place where I've come to agree that the best things that I can ever get for myself, they come from inside me. When you look inward, you grow inward. When you grow inward, you also grow outward. So keep looking inward. What are the things that are in you that are yet to be revealed to the world? What are the things that are in you that the world is yet to see? Why don't you look inward and bring out, instead of looking to others and thinking that someone is going to do stuff for you, why don't you look inward and see what you can generate for yourself? I see a lot of who are generating great ideas, just generating ideas because they are looking inward. Maybe looking inward might not just mean looking into you, it might be looking into your company. What do you produce right now? I have a friend, who probably is listening to me right now. I was shocked on the day that I realized, not probably, I think I see, he realized COVID had come, and he realized he had the capacity to start a logistic outfit, and he got started. I was shocked when I saw it. I said, this is great thinking. Just get started, because new things are happening. So what did he do? He just he must have, I think, I've not spoken to him, but he must have looked into his organization and discovered, this thing is possible here. So if a company is producing soft drink, what does that tell you? If nobody is drinking soft drink, they can now produce water. Every organization, every company that produces soft drink also has the capacity to produce water. Look inward. Look into your company. Is there any other thing that you can do that you are not yet doing? Look inward. Look inward. And then number 6, I like this one. Stop competing and start collaborating. One of the things that I love to do, one of the things I have come to enjoy a lot is that I collaborate. When I do stuff, I'm always collaborating with other people to get the very best of whatever it is that I'm doing. I collaborate a lot. I like to collaborate because I know that 2 good heads are really, really better than 1. I collaborate a lot because I know that I have blind spots, and there are other people who can see my blind spot and allow me to overcome those blind spots because they see it and we share ideas together. I like to ask people what they are doing. I like to move into some spaces. I like to ask people to give me feedback on what I'm doing, to find out if I'm doing it, to find out what I can add. So collaborate. Let's not compete. You see, competing does not complete anything, but collaboration completes a lot. There's what you can do that I cannot do. But you know what? There's what I can do that you cannot do. Now, if you do what you can do and I do what I can do, we get results for ourselves. But if we do what we can do together, then we get multiple results for ourselves. So let's stop competing and let's start collaborating. That's very critical. Those are what I can share with you, my 6 start and stop list, or stop and start list. So you've got to be looking at yourself and asking yourself those questions. What do I need to start doing in my life, in my current situation? The storm is there, but what do I need to start doing as a leader? What are the things you need to start doing? What do I need to stop doing? Maybe as a leader, you need to stop procrastinating and start living that dream. You've always been wondering, okay, I can put a plan together, but you never did put that plan together. You never did think through and contemplate and create that plan, because you are always either trying to look to someone or whatever it is that you are doing. So you've got to get back on track and ask yourself, what do I start doing? What do I stop doing? Then what do I do more of? There are good things. There are some good things that you are doing. Can you increase the number of those things? And there are some not too good things that you are doing. Can you reduce them? Can you bring the number down? Can you bring the number down and do more of the good things that you are doing, and then do less of those not so good things that you are doing, so that you can expand and enlarge yourself and be able to take your team from dream to reality. It's good to have dreams, but you see, if the dreams don't become reality, that dream becomes a fantasy. It's the easiest way to become frustrated in life is to always have dreams that never come to pass, dreams that never become real. Anytime you have dreams that never become real, frustration can set in. So what do? Work to chart a course for your team so that you can get to the dream that you have always wanted to live. That's about how far we can go tonight on your leadership community. My name again is BC Akonde, and I always just want to add value to you. Let me just say a very big thank you to all of you for stopping by this channel. For those of you who are on YouTube, Facebook, my Facebook page, you're welcome to always connect with me. Every Sunday evening we do this, and like I told you before, some new things are coming very, very soon. We're going to be rolling out certain things that will be adding value to you. Thank you very much. I really appreciate you. So please, can you navigate, ride the storm to live the dream of your life? I appreciate you so much. I trust that